Yeah, this is AFX Title again and TitleSearch.com. A lot of our clients are doing purchasing in the foreclosure arena, buying investment properties. In some cases, the intention is to lease them out, rent them out to residential tenants to build up that property value over time, or for an income stream. And one of the issues that comes up is, how do I eliminate some of the landlord/tenant responsibilities? A triple net lease is something that is common on commercial properties, and there's been talk in the residential renting arena about, can I do a triple net lease on a residential house? Well, triple net, first of all, means that the tenant, it's a net payment to the owner, the landlord, meaning that the tenant pays taxes, insurance, all the maintenance, and what comes to the landlord is net. So they keep the money, it's all net profit. There's no payments out for other things. It kind of removes some of the landlord responsibility from that process, which in theory might sound pretty good. The problem is you become more of a lender than a landlord. A lender just says, look, I'm putting the money out there for this property, and I'm just going to get fixed payments all the time. A lender is the true net lease owner of a property. If you think about it, they don't have to pay taxes, they don't have to pay insurance, they don't have to do maintenance. They just get a fixed amount for that property. So if you are a landlord, ideally, you'd be in the same boat. But think about it, how much do lenders make? The return is very small in the low percentage rates, single-digit percentage rates on a loan right now. So the value added for a landlord is some of those landlord responsibilities. It's sometimes the maintenance, making sure taxes are paid, managing the renting process of the property. So if you are a landlord or potentially becoming a landlord, maybe look at triple net leasing as a model for how to manage a property, but don't remove all the landlord responsibilities because that's not really what a residential tenant is looking for. One way to do a hybrid and get some of the benefits is to consider removing some of the maintenance. For example, maybe having the tenant responsible for any repair under $100 or the first $100 of any major repair. A few exclusions might be in order. For example, if the AC unit blows up, you don't want them to pay anything for that. But if there's a plumbing issue that's a $300 plumbing issue, maybe the tenant pays the first $100. Maybe if it's a small issue that can be fixed by the tenant, look, I'd rather have a tenant pay, or fix a stopped up sink themselves, spending half an hour, maybe buy some Drano, than having a plumber come out and spending $200. So having that tenant be responsible for anything under $100 might be good. And what's the advantage to the tenant? On the one hand, you may not want to consider reduction in rent, the exchange, but building a good value relationship for that landlord tenant. Maybe you provide a little bit nicer property. Maybe you get the higher level tenant in the property, the kind of tenant that you would want to have. The tenant market in most areas of the United States right now is pretty good. There's a lot of people out there looking to rent properties. So you can kind of pick and choose what type you want. And if you find maybe a prior homeowner, somebody who is a professional or an executive, you might be able to get them to work in that type of environment. A prior homeowner is used to doing these things himself. Somebody who owned a house is probably more likely to be able to fix a stopped up sink, to be able to maybe clean leaves out of the downspout because they did it themselves. Most prior homeowners did not call a plumber every time there was a $50 problem because they knew it would be a $300 bill. So they're used to doing those things and may be willing to do that as a responsible user of your property if you present that scenario to them. Suggestion on finding that type of person is, as you speak with potential renters of your property and they're going to be entrusted with that property that you have, if possible, look at their current residence. Where do they live now? You may not be able to get inside if you arrange a meeting with them to pick them up, to bring them to your property, or to meet them about some other issue. You may be able to see how they keep their current property. If not, look at the outside. Drive by their current house, see how the exterior is maintained. If you can't do that, wait till they come to your property or to meet you at your office. Look at their vehicle. See what their car looks like. See if it's maintained. See if it's the inside is just strewn with coffee cups and McDonald's bags, because if that's how they treat their own car, that's probably how they consider their environment to be comfortable in somebody else's house. So that might be a good little tip off on finding somebody who is the kind of person you'd like to have in your property. So landlord, leasing ideas. Triple net has come up. People have asked, oh, can I do a triple net when I rent my house out? Yeah, you could, but it's probably not going to work for the type of tenant you want, and it's probably going to eliminate some of the things that you add as a value to the renter's experience. Think about the large landlords around the country that rent big apartment buildings. These are hedge funds that own multiple apartment buildings. They don't do triple nets with their tenants. They add the value of that management and that upscale environment. You could do the same thing and increase the rental income from your properties.